So many people have been asking questions about the new Applied Psychology for Yogis training that's starting tomorrow. This program is called Psychosocial Emotional Literacy for Yoga Teachers. And it's a 5-week long course that meets twice a week for 75 minutes. And it's through a webinar program. And this is a wonderful way to deepen teaching skills that are what I call psychologically sound. The first week is basically focused on ourselves as teachers. How do we continue to have a productive and satisfying emotional life, emotional process, if you will, and how to work with that in a way that is ever evolving and unfolding that actually enriches our lives as teachers. We're going to look at our own self stories, personal stories. We're going to look at ways to work with our emotions as we practice. We're going to look at very simple and practical somatic tools for actually getting ourselves through the river of emotion, whatever that emotion might be. The second week of the course, we're going to talk a little bit about basically the shadow, all the things that are unseen or the things that we push away, the shame, blame, guilt, and doubt, the ugly parts of being a yoga teacher. We're going to talk about that the second week. The third and fourth week, we're going to talk about and experience through different exercises ways of creating what I call psychologically sound yoga classrooms. How to build a container of your classroom that is one of safety and structure that provides ample opportunity for your students to experience even more of themselves. We'll talk about ways to theme your classes that are not covertly manipulative, but rather are inspiring students towards having their own experience and trusting that unfolding experience of their own emotional process. And of course, their learning of yoga. We'll also talk a little bit about shock and trauma and how to work with those aspects of our students when they arise, even also in ourselves, and some special populations. We'll talk about that as well. In the last week, we'll talk about how to basically bring all of it together, how to have a sort of integrated way of being, and we'll talk also about our interpersonal skills. How are we in dynamic relationship with our colleagues, with our teachers, with our students, with our studio owners, and how to build productive relationships and respectful relationships with these variety of circles, and also make sure that our needs as an individual and as a yoga teacher are being met. So again, really practical tools to foster relationship building. That'll be the last week. Not only will the webinar classes themselves be recorded and available for you to view at any time, there'll also be a whole host of other information that's available to download. Worksheets, journaling applications, other exercises, really ways for us to engage with each other. There'll be an online Facebook forum to engage in dialogue with each other. And my hope is that this sort of provides us with that experiential component that obviously when we're not sitting together in a studio or a classroom together, we don't get as much of that via the interwebs, but we're doing the best we can, of course, right? So, of course, I feel biased, but I think this course is basically the one that was missing from the majority of those 200-hour teacher trainings that we all took back in the day when we first became yoga teachers. And there are no regulations right now around what are the psychosocial spiritual components of a yoga teacher. We have a lot of requirements around anatomy and physiology and asana teaching techniques and therapeutics and things like that. But the nonverbal emotional component that is the very deep responsibility of a yoga teacher to carry in the classroom, there aren't any requirements around that actually, and which is in a strange way sort of our boon, which means that we can be creative in this course and really tailor the course to what your questions are and where your interest is. And so of course the structure that and the outline that I just gave to you, that is the skeleton, that is the basic outline, and we're going to really guide the course also based on interest and where the real heart of the matter is for each of us. So I hope you'll consider joining us. We have a mighty, mighty group of people who are gathering online to do this course, and I have no doubt that it will start to really create waves and make big shifts in the modern yoga world around what we're really up to and what we're really doing as yoga teachers in our public classrooms and also privately with students, and taking ownership of the seat of the teacher in a new way that isn't on a pedestal being a guru, that isn't being only the humble servant, but that is really showing up deeply in our own humanity as a teacher, as a healer, as someone who is gifted in the art of sharing this practice of yoga. So if you've been on the fence about signing up for this program, get off the fence and register today because we start tomorrow. So go to that Facebook invite, that psychosocial emotional training for yogis Facebook invite that I have been blasting all over the place, and get the registration link on that page and do it today. We would love to have you. All right, see you soon.